Okay, hello and good morning. Let's take a look here. We're talking about MCR. And on MCR, everyone must retest Chapter 8. Now, if you're happy with your in-class hard copy, then you don't need to. But everyone else at home and in class that needs to must retest over break. Okay? I'm sorry, I need to get those grades in, and I need you to retest. So plan on doing that. All right, look up here. This right here, only the y is to the 0 power, so that changes to 1. So 2x times 1 is 2x. On this one, all of this is to the 0 power, so anything to the 0 power is 1. All right, let's go on. This one right here, everything gets a 2. It's kind of like the distributive. So it's going to be 3 squared, t to the 3rd squared, x to the 4th squared. This one down here is all going to get a 2. All of this. So it's going to be 4 squared, x squared squared, and y cubed squared. Make sure you know that. Okay? All right, so 3 times 3 is 9. This gives you a power to a power, so you multiply. Power to a power, you multiply. 4 times 4 is 16. Power to a power, you multiply. Same thing here. Now these, you have more x's at the top. You have 4 more x's at the top. So your final answer will be 9 t to the 6th, x to the 4th, and then 16 y to the 6th power. And that's how you do that. Let's take a look at today's work. Copy these down on a new sheet of paper. Put 4.2. All right, remember that when you divide, you subtract. So you're going to have equals 6 and then 2 minus 5. That gives you 6 to the negative 3, and then you're going to drop that down and put 1 over 6 to the 3rd power. Now 6 times 6 times 6, I don't know what that is, but we'll do it on the calculator. So 6 and then xy to the 3rd power equals 216. And there it is. This one right here is a negative. It's at the top, so you're going to throw it down. So it becomes 1 over 3 to the 4th power. Clear it. 3xy to the 4th power is 81. Okay. This one right here is a power to a power, so you multiply. That gives you x to the negative 6. You throw it down and get 1 over x to the 6th power. You cannot have a negative exponent. It's just a rule. Now, there's a lot of ways you can do this, okay? You got to be careful with that negative. If it was in the middle, you'd have to distribute it. Let me think about that. Okay, so let me just put it at the top. Anyway, this is a negative 2, so everything's going to get a negative 2, including that negative. So let me think about this. The way that I would do it is I would go ahead and flip both of these. So I would say xy to the negative 3 over negative x to the 3rd and y to the 3rd, and then change this to a positive 2. That's the way I would do it. Okay, so if it's a negative, you can flip your fraction, okay, and then the exponent here is the only thing that changes. All right, if that kind of confuses you, just keep your mind open to it. So this right here becomes x squared. This is going to be a power to a power, so that gives you y to the negative 6. This is a negative squared, so that becomes a positive. This becomes a positive to a positive, or an exponent to an exponent, that becomes x6. This is a power to a power, so that becomes y6. Now, What I'm going to do here is look at my x's. I have more x's at the bottom. So I'm going to end up with x to the 4th down here. And then I'm going to move this y down here, but it becomes a plus 6. So that becomes y to the positive 12 rather. And then everything's gone at the top, and that's my answer. Now I know that seems kind of weird, and maybe this is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but that's how you do it. This one right here, you have the same base and you're multiplying, so you're going to add these up. So 2m plus 2m makes 4m. And that's all you can do. Today's work is this page. If you get stuck, ask for help. Remember, everyone must retest Chapter 8 over break. All right, let's go here. Geometry. Okay, let's talk about geometry here. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to reopen Chapter 4 test. Make sure you study the practice test. I have the video on there, and everyone can take it. All right, you don't have to. It's optional. Chapter 3 is a bonus. So if you want to retest that, I'll give you some credit like I discussed. Like if you get a 60, I'll give you 1 plus 1, a 70 plus 2, and so on and so forth. Okay, if you get a perfect paper, I guess that would be a 5. So you might want to do that as a bonus. In Chapter 4, let's say you worked last Friday and you couldn't do it. I'm going to give you the break to retest. Okay? All right, I hope that makes sense. Look up here, let's match. Now I'm just going to look at the board. Let me think here though first. A centroid, MC, like MasterCard, that's median. In-center. An in-center is AI. AI is altitude. Let me make sure on that. No. In-center is angle bisector, AI. Orthocenter is altitude. And circumcenter is perpendicular bisector. They're all on the board by the speaker, but make sure you know them. All right, on a new sheet of paper, I want you to draw all 4 of these. Okay, so let's try it. M, get a new sheet of paper, draw a triangle. M, N, O, and P. All right, let's do these. So here we go. An altitude is straight down. So you're going to stand here and you're going to go straight down. You're going to turn your paper to where this is the ground and you're going to go straight down. Now, straight down is almost where it is. And then I got one more point here where this is the ground and you're standing way up here and you're going to go straight down. Well, it should have hit here. That right there represents your altitude, okay? And your altitude is your orthocenter. All right, let's try another one. Angle bisector. So draw your angles, split them, draw your angles, split them, draw your angles, split them, and then connect this. This one right here is your in-center. Okay, this is your ortho. This is your in-center. Now, the significance of the in-center is the distance to the sides make the radius of the inscribed circle. So you need to know that. Okay? The next one is the perpendicular bisector. So go to the middle, go 90 degrees. Go to the middle, go 90 degrees. Go to the middle, go 90 degrees. And where they hit here, this point is called the circumcenter. Okay? Now the significance is the distance to the vertices are the same. And this makes a circumscribed circle around the vertices. Inscribed, circumscribed. And the last one is a median. A median is a midpoint. So find the midpoint, connect it. Find the midpoint, connect the vertice. Find the midpoint, connect the vertice. This one right here, the median, is your centroid. The centroid is the balancing point. the balancing point. If you put your finger under there, right there, you can balance that triangle. Okay? All right, there it is. There's all four. Now today, you're going to have a worksheet right here. Okay, so take a look at this worksheet. And if you're at home, you can pause it, but I'm going to upload it both to Canvas and I'm going to put it on the Teams chat. Okay, so let's take a look here. This one right here looks like straight down, so that would be an altitude. Okay, this one's in the middle to the vertice. That one would be a median. Okay, so you got to identify what they are. All right, the three altitudes of a triangle. Altitudes, you can look at the board. It should be the orthocenter. So you got to go through these. Now let me take a look at the backside. The backside says, find the center of the circle that circumscribes. Now circumscribes, if you look at the speaker up here, circumscribed is the perpendicular bisector. So you got to bisect it. You got to go in the middle and go straight up. And then you turn it and you go in the middle and you go straight up. And where they hit is the orthocenter. So that point looks like -2 up 2. So you got to read them and do what they tell you to do. Okay, here you got to identify what it is. I'll help you as you go, and that's all we're doing today. Make sure you do this worksheet. It's a very good worksheet, and it should help you understand the concepts. Have a good morning, and don't forget, okay, that you have to retest Chapter 4 if you missed it, number 1, and number 2, if you want to, you can retest. Let's say, again, that you needed more time, or maybe you worked Friday night, what have you. All right, have a good day. Oh, and don't forget, Chapter 3 will be a bonus.